People just love to call young players a bust for some reason. I just think there's something about having a guy high on a pedestal and then tearing him down that we just love. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Ben Simmons, these are all guys that were at the top, but now people love to hate. Darius Garland was almost a bust. He was literally called the worst player in the NBA after his rookie season, but somehow he is leading the Cavaliers this year to a playoff spot. One of the most respected NBA writers is a guy named John Hollinger. He invented like the PER stat and he was a GM for years. He actually said, quote, Garland can't defend, he can't create, his shooting hasn't been enough. If he were a second round pick, he'd be playing in the G League right now and probably coming off the bench. Ooh, that hurts. John Hollinger is actually a respected NBA guy, but blogs and YouTube channels called him a bust too. Bleacher Report actually ranked him the number 5 potential bust in 2019. Even a Cavs fan site said, look, it's a little too early, but yeah, he could be a bust. And the reason they said that was because, yeah, Garland did have the worst advanced stats of anyone in the league. He was dead last in win shares, value over replacement player, and ESPN's real plus minus. This is the first time in Darius's life that anyone doubted his game. His dad was a former NBA player named Winston Garland. In high school, Darius won 4 state titles, won Mr. Basketball in Tennessee 3 times, and was a McDonald's All-American. He could have gone to any college in the country, but he chose to stay with his hometown Vanderbilt. He only played 5 games in college with a torn meniscus, but he still became the number 5 pick. The fact that Cleveland believed in him enough, just watching basically his high school stuff, shows how talented he is, but it also is why the NBA jump was so tough. Rookie point guards have the hardest transition. Not only is the speed of the game faster, the players you're playing against are bigger and stronger, but guards have to read the defense and execute the plays. On top of that, Darius played almost no college. He went from high school to the NBA. Another great example of this is De'Aaron Fox. The media called him a bust after his rookie season, but by year 2, he clearly belonged in the league. But Darius Garland was so bad, it looked like the Cavs might have wasted that pick. I mean, they already had Colin Sexton. Why were they drafting another guard? Oh yeah, Darius is 6'1". He still has baby fat on his face. Maybe his amazing high school game just wouldn't translate to the league. And right when all the national media was asking those questions, one of Darius's veteran teammates told everybody to slow the F down. Quote, everyone is impatient, Tristan Thompson said. Lose 10 games in a row, you think the season's ending. Everyone wants instant results, but life is not like that. If I was DG and I wanted to be like a certain player in our league, I would try to watch a lot of Damian Lillard film. He has the potential to be like that. Young Dame. What? Did he just not see the rookie season that Darius Garland had? Young Dame. I mean, I expect crazy stuff from Tristan Thompson, but that is a wild comparison. And then year 2 happened, and everything changed. Instead of just driving into bigs as a small, unathletic guard, Darius played at his own pace and took smarter shots. He was always known as a scorer from high school, but in year 2, he showed the best playmaking ability on the team. It turned out, yeah, they already had Colin Sexton, but they had a master plan. Darius Garland is an actual NBA point guard, not just a one-dimensional threat. This year, he's taken another jump, and it is safe to ask, could he one day be the best point guard in that draft class that includes Ja Morant? When Darius is on the floor, the Cavs score 14 more points per 100 possessions than when he's off the floor. That number is 5th best in the league. The guys he ranks just higher than are DeJounte Murray, Stephen Curry, and LaMelo Ball. There are 2 main reasons for Garland's jump this season. The first is one of the most brilliant trades we've seen in a long time. The Rockets needed help to get the James Harden deal done, and the Cavs jumped in as the 4th team because Jarrett Allen needed a home. All they had to give up for the Fro was Dante Exum, who was basically washed out of the league, and a unprotected first-round pick from the Bucks, which is way down late, basically a second-round pick. Now, Jared Allen and Darius Garland have some of the best 1-2 chemistry in the league. Darius dribbles into the paint and puts up a floater or a lob to Jared Allen. The thing is, Darius has the exact same release on both of the floater and the lob, so the defense never knows what's coming. In fact, Jared Allen has the second most dunks of anyone this season. Clint Capella, you see, is number 5 on that list, catching lobs from Trae Young, and I see a lot of similarities between Trae and Darius. Obviously, bad defense held Trae back for a few years, but then the Hawks built a strong defensive team around him that unlocked his potential. The Cavs are doing the exact same thing. Jared Allen's a rim protector, Isaac Okoro on the wing, Evan Mobley guards 1 through 5, but the second reason for Darius's jump this year is who's not on the floor. Colin Sexton's meniscus tear was the best thing to happen for Darius Garland, and that really sucks, but it's made Darius's role crystal clear. I know Sexton didn't play much point guard for the Cavs this season, but he did share the spotlight. Now, Darius has been fully handed the keys. Since Colin's injury, Garland is averaging about 22 points a game, 7.1 assists, 1.1 steals, and almost 3 trays a night. That is more points than Spida Mitchell in that time, more trays than CJ McCollum, more assists than Fred VanVleet, and more steals than DeJounte Murray. In other words, Darius Garland is playing like one of the best offensive point guards in the NBA. How is that for a bust? With Garland running the show, the Cavs got 4 blowouts in a row, all of at least 13 points, including over the Mavs, the Heat, and the Wizards. The Cavs could be years ahead of schedule, and it is mostly because of Darius Garland. Now, earlier I made that case that he could be the best point guard in the 2019 class with Ja Morant. I know that's crazy. Obviously, Ja's a star. He's one of the rare point guards that just came out of the box and popped, right? It's easy to see Ja. Dynamic, athletic, highlight reels. Darius is not like that. His game is more finesse and crafty. Now that Garland is popped, though, let's look at what the stats say about how they compare. Actually, Garland is better at almost everything this year, especially considering Ja's usage rate. He's in the 95th percentile for his position, which means that almost no one handles the rock more than Ja. Garland does all this sharing the ball with Ricky Rubio. His floater lob threat is so dangerous, the only point guards better in the mid-range are Mike Conley and Chris Paul. The big knock on Garland is the turnovers, but other than that, the kid is a beast. So is Darius Garland actually better than Ja Morant? No, of course not. But it shows you to never judge a rookie point guard because Darius Garland has proved a lot of people wrong. And so is James Harden, okay? Beginning of the season, people said, oh, the rule changes. James Harden's an idiot for not extending with the Brooklyn Nets. But this video proves and shows game by game we were all wrong about James Harden.